right, so talks amongst yourselves. What I'd love for you all to do is to think about your favorite place to be. Where in the world is your favorite place to be? That place where everything just feels wonderful and at ease. That place where you feel centered and home. Where is that place for you? For me, that place is the beach. Woohoo! How many other people love the beach, right? Yeah. So on your tables, I've given each and every one of you a seashell, so you can always have that seashell in your pocket to remind you of the beach. So for me, whenever I think of the beach, it's my place of home. And I love the rhythmic sound of the waves as they crash upon the shore. I love the warmth of the sun as it caresses my skin, and I breathe in the salty sea air as the gentle breeze blows through my hair, right? I love to stand on the edge of the shore and gaze out at that vast blue expanse as the seagulls fly above me and my toes sink into the sand. My body relaxes more deeply when I'm there, and I feel myself release tension I didn't even know that I had. My mind surrenders to that deeper part of my soul that understands more than I do. I feel a part of the perfection of life, and no matter what is going on, I feel peace there. And for me, that is pure bliss. But how often do we actually get there, to our beaches, wherever they may be? We long for those getaways. Those sweet escapes give us a break from it all. That's why they mean so much. So right now, what I'd like for you to do is just take a nice deep breath in and just think about your life. And notice if your life fills you with joy and happiness, or if perhaps a part of you wishes that you could escape your life, if only for a moment, an hour, or a day. But why do we feel we need to escape our lives? What if every day could feel as if it were that day at that beach? How wonderful would that be, right? Now, of course, not that you have to drop everything, but what if you could have that energy, that feeling as if you were at the beach, right here, in this moment? And so now you can feel that peace and that tranquility. You can feel confident in yourself and the choices that you're making, and you know that everything is happening exactly as it should in the grand ebb and flow of life. Because life doesn't always flow according to our picture-perfect plans. And sometimes we end up in places that are unexpected and unwanted. Yet in each and every moment, in every opportunity, in every obstacle, in every encounter, there is a deeper spiritual lesson that is waiting for you if you are only willing to be open to receive it. For me, as long as I can remember, I didn't believe in myself. I thought that I had nothing of value to offer, and that it would be best if I just faded into the background and didn't draw attention to myself. As so many of us heard, it was best to be seen and not heard. And so I played the part of who everyone wanted me to be, and I desperately wanted to please others. I kept my secret desires to myself because I wanted to make others happy. I pretended what I wanted wasn't important. I sacrificed myself and opportunities because I didn't want to make waves and rock the boat. Yet all the while, I wondered why I wasn't free to be who I was meant to be, or to share the things that were important to me. Well, somewhere along the line, I lost my voice and I lost my power. I became a shadow of the person that I knew was inside, but I didn't know how to set her free. And then when I was 17 years old, I was diagnosed with a heart condition, and it would require lifelong medication. And you see, unless I stood up slow enough or deliberately enough, every time I stood up, I would get dizzy and I would pass out. And I felt like an old woman, and I was just a teenager. And so yay! And so I felt as if I had to settle into a life that was less than the one that I had planned for myself. And the years passed, and then one day I took a shower, and my life was never the same. So I had just finished shaving my legs, and I stood up and I started getting dizzy. My body started to tingle, my vision started to dim. I saw all those familiar stars, and I knew that I would soon pass out unless I sat down right there in that shower. And for me, in that moment, the sadness and the loss that I felt at the thought of watching my life slowly pass me by was overwhelming. And as I stood there on the edges of despair, I wondered how my life had come to this most unrecognizable place. It felt as though 1,000 dreams were being washed down the drain, and I stood there naked and helpless, without any way to stop it. In that moment, I knew that things had to change. I desperately wanted something different. Inside of my mind, I screamed, "No!" So piercing was that internal cry that had glass been inside of my mind, it would have shattered. But as it was, it shook me to my core. In that moment, I claimed something more for myself, and I would no longer settle for a life less than the one that I chose for myself. And so, I started to do my inner work, to heal and resolve all of those things that needed to be addressed. And what I discovered was not pretty, or for the faint of heart, and it took a while to bring to the surface, as they often do. And what I discovered was that my heart condition was a way that I had created to bond with my estranged father, who also had a heart condition. I felt a deep and intimate connection to him in a way that I hadn't experienced in any other way. And so I began to wonder if it was possible that I could have created this condition as a way to connect. And of course, it seemed absurd at first. Like, why would I ever want to feel this way in order to feel loved? But as I dug into the emotions, I realized that I didn't feel worthy enough, or important enough, or good enough for people to pay attention to, yet I craved that attention. Of course, we all want to be seen, heard, and loved. Well, when there's something physical going on, people pay attention. When I was fainting, people came to help. I felt seen, I felt important. I felt like it mattered that I was here and alive, and that felt like love to me. And at some point, I made a choice, just as we all must. I intuitively knew that it didn't have to be this way, and I would be much happier if I actually started to heal and address those emotions that I didn't know how to process. And just like magic, as I healed those emotions, my heart condition healed, and it taught me more than I could have possibly imagined. I was able to discover this beautiful blessing simply by turning within to witness and honor my own truth. And what I began to discover is that everything in life is a lesson, and that the answers to all of our questions always come from within. And it was here that everything shifted for me. I was able to open up my heart to discover how powerful I truly was, because so many of us forget how powerful we truly are. Yet each of us has more power than the power that we claim. I was able to understand that I wasn't living the life that I was meant to live, just as so many other people are feeling right now. I had settled for a life that was less than the one that was serving me, or it wasn't helping me to get to live the life that I wanted for myself. I had forgotten what I wanted, what made me happy, and how to shine my light. Yet when I dove into the depths of myself, it all became clear, because when you shine light on your shadows, you bring to light everything that is there hidden in the darkness. But those things in the dark are also beautiful and important. The amazing power of the mind-body connection became so apparent, and that we are listening to everything we say and think. Every thought and whisper is believed as truth. Our mind has the ability to shape our experiences, for better or for worse, and it is simply a matter of belief of what we choose to focus on, because mindset is everything. We are not victims of circumstance, but we are powerful creators in our own lives if only we claim ownership for them. You see, there is a great power that resides within each and every one of us that can transform everything within us. It has the ability to etch away our rough edges, yet it is gentle enough to support all of those things that are most delicate. I've learned that it takes courage and strength to shine light on your shadows and to create an empowered mindset, but when we do, we are filled with self-confidence, with a deeper sense of worthiness and value, and a deeper understanding of who we truly are. And it is then that we can begin to become conscious co-creators in our lives and create a life that is worthy of us and our potential. You know, every moment that we look through the eyes of truth, we will know ourselves. We will see how the power of a simple thought or belief can shape our choices and our future. We will understand the power of everything that is happening to us and for us. I wouldn't be where I am today without the pain and the path that I've walked upon, nor would anyone else. Everything happens for a reason, to help us to connect more deeply to our truth, with who we truly are. Yet we must get clear on what we want for ourselves and then allow ourselves to move towards its accomplishment, regardless of how big any obstacles may seem, because just like the sand on the beach, everything shifts with time. And we are all here to live our lives fully. We each have a voice and a purpose that matters. I've discovered that our truth doesn't need to be understood by anyone else, because as long as it comes from within, then it is pure and it is good. We are each here in this space and time to shine our light, yet so often we find ourselves diverted from the path that we thought we'd travel upon. And it is in these diversions that we can learn the most about ourselves, that help us to connect more deeply to our truth and to our purpose. And then when we give ourselves permission to rise up beyond our own self-imposed limitations, it is then that we can create a life full of magic. This is my work. This is my message. That you already have everything that you need within yourselves, if you only believe. You can give yourself that opportunity to step into your greatness, because you are here on purpose. You are here for a purpose, and you matter. You are meant for an individual greatness that will impact the world in ways that you cannot even imagine. And in any moment, you can step into your truth. Each opportunity is a beautiful gift to step more deeply into shining the light that only you can step into, only you can shine so brightly. And it is then that you can create a life that is worthy of the miracles and the magic that only you can create. You know, sometimes it can feel as if happiness comes in waves. Yet when we align ourselves with all of these things, we will not be tossed to and fro in the waves of life, but we will learn to ride them with ease and grace. We will be able to be fully present and see the beauty that is all around us in both the light and the dark, and know that we need it all to be ourselves fully. And when we embrace the power that is within us, we can truly understand how wonderful and magical we are, and how deeply the world needs us. You don't need to wait for someday when everything is aligned and perfect. You can allow yourself to say yes to yourself, because that calling within you, it won't go away until you honor it in the way that only your spirit knows how to honor you. It's part of you, and it needs to be set free. And so my question for you is, how will you start your someday today? Thank you.